everybody, Sinix here, and I'm back with another episode of Let's Explore DeviantArt. It is the very early morning of March 1st, and I'm here with a sleepy time episode. So let's see what's on the front page today. This first piece, judging from the thumbnail, it looks like a collection of ceramic plates, but let's see what it is. Alright, it's actually a Pikachu fish. Let's scroll down a little. Scroll down? Okay. So, we have an interesting idea here. We have Pikachu as a fish, and apparently the fish eggs are Pokeballs, and little tadpole Pikachus are coming out. So the idea is cute. I like the idea. Um, the whole background is like the first thing that's jumping out at me because it looks kind of dark and creepy. I don't know. I don't know if whole thing is supposed to be like a sea cave or some coral, but it's really kind of gray and dark, and like if you just look at it, it looks like some face that's screaming in anguish, and just like a wall of sorrow and pain. And it's kind of sad and creeping me out a bit. So yeah, the background's a bit dark. You might want to rethink that. I don't know. It's scaring me a bit the more I stare at it because I'm just seeing faces. Okay, let's move right along. This is called Chibi Party. This doesn't really look like chibis, except for their really tiny baby hands. Let me see what they say at the bottom. Semi-weirdo chibis. Characters belong to other people. Okay, I appreciate the transparent background. That always looks nice when you're doing this kind of stuff instead of seeing that white background. This figure over here is, I think, bugging me the most right off the bat just because this arm is, like, twisted backward and goes into this little tiny baby hand, which is creeping me out. Oh, it feels like there's, like, a little baby hand, like, coming out of their back. And here's another baby hand next to a giant boob. Other than that, it's an interesting style you're going for. I just don't know about this just anatomy is a bit twisted over here with the arm coming back this far. I feel like it should have been forward or something. Could have done something else with it. The rendering on this little skull thing's nice. Some interesting renderings going on. Yeah, but I don't know. It doesn't feel chibi, just except for those little hands. I don't know. They kind of have big heads, I guess. It's slightly chibi. Baby hands. I don't know. Let's move on. Old Westbury Gardens. Why, hello there. I seem to notice you're wearing a see-through skirt. That's cool. I'm down with fashion. The palette on this is quite nice. It has that nice muted soft tones. The background looks awesome. I don't know what this is, if she's at like the Xavier School for Gifted Children or whatever. It's pretty nice. I guess her superpower is being able to turn her clothes transparent. Um, so yeah, it's an interesting outfit. I'm sure that got people's attention. It's a cute picture though. I mean, it's kind of got the lighting works real well with this palette where it's just kind of that soft, like, no real direct lighting. Works well with that soft palette. I mean, that's an interesting outfit. It's just like a corset and a see-through skirt. Okay. Yep, I'm not a photography expert, but it looks good. Moving right along. More photography. Ooh, this one looks nice. It's a nice misty photograph. Apparently there's a whole club for that. Mist photography. The uncertainty. So yeah, the palette on this, it's like, I think it's black and white, unless my eyes are like dying on me. It's real like gloomy and death-oriented with this horrible twisted tree, which looks amazing. I love this tree already. This subtle background and that mist, and you can almost feel the Slender Man coming out from behind the tree to kill you all. Yeah, it looks great. I love the grass too. Guess that's grass. Everything is so like kind of eerie and spooky looking. Makes me think this is like the poster for The Giving Tree, as directed by Christopher Nolan. Great piece though. Let's move on. I'm sorry, I keep smacking my lips. Punk Sakura alt outfit. I'm pretty sure we've seen something by this guy before because it looks very familiar. Not this piece though. Once again, I think this was the key issue with this guy last time. He does some awesome rendering on the clothing. You can see the little fabric patterns and whatnot. He goes for a lot of different textures, which all look great. So that's always a great thing to do. But the skin rendering still feels a bit flat. That neck especially feels really flat. Like it just feels flat, like it's a thin little piece of paper. Yeah, he just needs to work on that his anatomy and his skin rendering a little. His anatomy's solid. Just work on it a little. Do some studies of naked girls. I'm sure you'll enjoy that. Get those skin tones down. But yeah, it's got some good personality. I really like it. He does some good clothes stuff. Yep. Yep. The white flowers. We have some traditional art for you guys. Once again, it's someone wading through a waist-deep pool of lily pads and whatnot. Or I guess it's a swamp. I don't know what to call it when it's like a waist-deep body of water. But I really like the white that they decided to go with, the white hair and these white flowers. That really creates a nice look compared with the background. And they did some nice work on the background too. You can see the way this foliage is just far back in the background. It's just rendered by a flat tone. Then as you get further forward, it gets more detailed and more interesting. So that's always good. I like that. It's an anime figure. It's kind of flat. I appreciate these desaturated and these kind of flat shadows that they went with. I mean, it's not realistic, but I always enjoy it for some reason. Anytime there's like a flat desaturated shadow, that's mainly defined by the line of the shadow versus the actual shadow itself. Some good folds here for traditional art, and some good effects on the water. It's not real reflection heavy, but these lily pads look great and everything. So that's a nice looking piece. I can't read what they're saying because it's in some other amazing language with lots of dots and weird letters. Okay, Stupid Fox 41. It's a webcomic, and it's a webcomic without any text, so that's always a good thing. Plus for that. Let me get it centered. So apparently we have a little raccoon sitting here looking at the water. Looks like his silhouette starts to change a little. And suddenly his silhouette's screaming at him. And a fox comes out of the water. I mean, it's nothing hilarious. It's told pretty simply with these same boxes and this same framing with the same background and whatnot. But I mean, it's cute enough. It's interesting. You can see they did some good things here. They showed the emotion on this raccoon by doing some subtle things like changing the ears and the tail like spiking out. So there's some good ideas there. Good idea to show emotion with the ears. I like that. Yeah, the perspective's a bit strange in this water area. I don't know. The rendering on the water is a bit, it's a bit boring. But overall, it's good. There's some good effects going on. I mean, I appreciate it. Good job at telling stories without words, because that's always good. Circle of Confusion. Apparently this was shot in the ocean, the deep water of the Bahamas. I'm kind of sad this isn't a bigger resolution, because I'd really like to get in depth and see all these like bubbles and interesting things that are going on here in a better resolution. I will say this, I normally wouldn't give someone kudos for a watermark, but this watermark actually works well with the piece. Kind of has a very underwatery feel to it. An underwatery watermark. Yep. So apparently this person is being eaten by a giant stingray or something. I don't know. They're being pulled under by a giant octopus. No, I'm just kidding. Use your own imagination. You can't really see what's going on. It'd be really interesting to try to render something like this in with digital painting or something, just because there's so much interesting effects going on with the water bubbles and whatnot. Like different kinds of effects. You got kind of like a weird, like circular like kind of misty effect and these big giant swooping bubbles. Yep, let's move on. Ooh, get a scroll down to the next set. Mm-mm-mm. History in the making. What is this? Apparently this is a matte painting. Jumping right off the bat, it's kind of painfully obvious that this is like, different pictures put together. But, I mean, all matte paintings are, but it's kind of obvious here because the perspectives just aren't lining up on these cityscapes. Like this one feels like it's really a different, taken at a different perspective than the other one. So that's kind of distracting me right away. Um, yeah, this mountain and the mountain range in the background, I feel like it's a bit too in focus. It would probably look good though. I mean, oops, sorry about that. It would probably look good if you were just looking at one section of it, which I think this is for, or maybe not. No, never mind. I don't know what this is for. But I mean, otherwise, this is kind of competing. It's very in focus over here. It's very sharp and colorful. It kind of doesn't work well as a background, especially with this. This whole right side is just really distracting to the eye because of how out of perspective it feels. It just feels off. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the whole purpose of a matte painting is to make it feel like it's an actual photograph, and it just doesn't quite capture that. It just feels like a photo manipulation. Um, yeah, even the skyline feels a bit weird. It's a bit dark and it's very crisp and in focus over here. All right, let's move on before I die of sleep deprivation. Deprivation. Girl sketch. Girl sketch. Okay, so this is the sketch of an anime girl. Not quite front page material as with the last time we saw an anime girl sketch. I appreciate some of the effects here. You have some hidden line technique, or you're not even showing the line when things are overexposed, which is good. I like that. I mean, it's kind of boring. Yeah, I was gonna say something else, but it is kind of boring. I like the eyes though, the darkness and the white ring. They look nice. It gives a nice effect. Something about the face bugs me a bit. I don't know. I think it's the nose. Is it? Yeah, the nose feels a bit off. Maybe it's off center. Or you know what it is? I think it's because there's such strong top lighting implied with the hair. Like you get this, it's very implied that the lighting's just coming straight from the top, and you see the face and you think, oh, well, the nose should be casting a shadow underneath, but they gave it like a slight shadow to the side, which would imply the lighting's coming from the side. So it just kind of looks weird. Like you follow the lighting down and it feels like there is no nose and it's just like a snake that bit her in the face or something. Yeah, I mean, you usually don't think about that when you're doing a sketch, like matching up your lighting to get it all like consistent. But yeah, it kind of like once you point it out, then it starts jumping out at you. So yeah, some issues. Apparently, he's gonna scrap this within a day, so I guess people wanted to favorite it anyway. Okay, cosplay photography. Hey, look, we have some bouquet. Am I saying that right? I don't know. Look, I remembered. Bouquet. Okay, so we have some okay bouquet. Cosplay photography. I like the purple wig. Like, sometimes purple hair looks really bad. Like, when you see people cosplay it, but this one actually looks very realistic. I can totally believe this person has purple hair. So yeah, it's a cute picture. Very kind of static, very symmetrical background. It's weird how symmetrical this is. But it's a nice photograph. I like this coat. I want this coat. I don't want to wear it. I just want to like put it on everyone I know because it's really awesome looking. Yep, yep. Oh, this person's like crying in their comments. No, they're not really crying. They're just leaving little cry faces. Oh, it's okay, Kira Winter. I like your photography. Photography. Oh, I'm stuttering. This is what happens when you're sleepy. So we have Snow White again. I feel like didn't we have Snow White on? We had a Snow White piece last week too. Um, this is interesting. They achieved this is the digital painting, but they achieved a real traditional feel with some of these textures. Has a bit of a chalky feel with how they rendered this. The hands look nice, which is nice because apparently they weren't worried about the hands. I think they look good. Apparently she's crying and the tears are turning to blood and the blood's dropping on the apple. I don't quite know what that's symbolizing. That's okay. I like this background with the mirror, the cracked mirror. It's a nice touch. Um, there's kind of an interesting thing going on with the face. It feels like they're in between, like with the nose especially, like they're in between styles where it's slightly anime yet slightly wants to be realistic. And it kind of makes the nose feel really big because you're used to that small anime nose with like some of the other anime features. But it looks good. Um, I mean, it looks fine. So yeah, there's a bit of an interesting style thing going on there, a bit of clashing of styles. Yep, I like the texturing though. The texturing's good. So solid piece overall. That nose looks even bigger in the thumbnail. It's like a potato nose. Okay, Wolf Warrior. Mm-mm-mm. So we have some concept art, it looks like, for a werewolf. I guess some kind of wolf warrior. Well, I'll have to say it's a wolf warrior. This is like I find myself doing this a lot lately, just taking the background and making it a blown up version of the art and slightly transparent. Like it's kind of a lazy way to do a background, but it works really well when you're just doing a concept piece and you don't really want to worry about the background. Makes it look more interesting. The tail is strangely transparent. I can see like the background through it. I mean, it's good that you're pushing the tail into the background by making it a lot softer. I appreciate that. I don't know if you wanted it transparent, but maybe that's a side effect of the way you did it. But yeah, I like that you pushed it into the background like that. These the rendering's nice overall. I really like this sword. It jumps out at me, and the rendering's really nice on it. It's interesting to look at too. The hands seem a bit strange, mainly because this hand, it feels like it has normal, like human, like giant fingers, and this one's like more claw-like. It's got like little fingers. I mean, if I just looked at one or the other, I would think they look fine, but then when I see them together, I'm like, oh, like these don't quite seem like the same type of hand. Um, yeah, looking up at the face, I feel like there's some issues going on, like it's slightly twisted. Uh, I don't know if I should be seeing this eye over here. I feel like with this angle you're going at, like I should just be seeing more of a side view and this eye shouldn't be visible. The nose feels like you got a bit crazy with the rendering in here. Could have simpled it, made it a bit flatter. Um, yeah, so the face anatomy is a bit twisted. I feel like then that could have been brought down, maybe with some lighting down in here more, instead of just making this sharp lighting along here, which makes the neck seem very thinner. I guess because this fur is coming back, it seems very thin. Just some stuff like that. But I mean, overall, I really like the rendering on the muscles and the tendons and everything. And so, I mean, solid overall. Just a couple little twisted things. It'll work for a concept piece, though. What do we have here? It's some kind of silhouette of a cat with I want to say it's a mouse or another cat for a tail. I'm not really sure. This piece is very dark, though. A bit too dark for my taste. I mean, it just feels like it's all negative space. This is all black, and it's all black up here. It's just a little bit of lighting. I mean, I guess that's what you're going for. I think it's a bit too dark to really work as the overall piece. It just doesn't have much interest to the eye when you're doing it that dark. Oops. I think I just had a hiccup. Anyway, I mean, this would work if it was like a panel in a comic where you wanted something like, oh, it's in the shadows, but as a piece of art, it's just kind of like too shadowy. Alright, gotta have cats on the front page. Would it be DeviantArt without cats on the front page? So we have a photograph here. Can I zoom in? Yep. We have a photograph of a cat in a tree. The cat looks about as unhappy as you can expect a cat in a tree to be. Like it's terrified. Oh, I hope they didn't just put the cat in the tree for this picture. Cat just looks stupefied by the whole thing. Its eyes are so like tiny. It's so scared. Poor cat. It's not the best model because it kind of like is a bit awkward in this picture. Kind of just makes you focus on how awkward the cat looks. But otherwise, like I love the focus, how it's like really in focus, and then the foreground's out of focus, and the background's out of focus. Creates a real nice look, and the colors are good too. It's just that cat's like, don't take my picture. I don't know. It doesn't seem happy. Not very photogenic. I mean, it's a pretty cat. It just doesn't want to be in this picture. Okay, what else? We have something here. It's traditional, and they really did some awesome stuff with the. I don't know. It looks like they like smeared or like dropped coffee on it, and it creates a really nice look. The way it's like dripping back, and it really adds to the feel of the piece. And there's some really nice light work going on too, like pen work going on, real fine pen work. This thing, I don't really know what it is. Apparently, this is some kind of fan art. This whole creature thing's a bit weird. I don't know. I don't really think the concept is that great, but that's not their fault. It's these weird diamonds and stuff. I mean, I'm sure this piece is doing it a lot more justice than whatever than the original, but that's okay. I really like this. These inks and these colors just look so good. Just dripping back. Creates a very watercolory feel, coffee feel. I don't know, a coffee shop splatter feel. Yep. Let's move right along. Oh no, look, I'm at the bottom. I'll just do one more for fun. 'Cause there's still more, but I'm just gonna do one more because I'm running out of time. I'm sorry, book with heart folded pages. That idea's been done before. So we have what do we have? Pepper. We have pepper, and this is traditional art too, and it actually looks really nice for traditional art. They did a really nice job, just making a nice gradient of colors from that dark blue to the light green and to the lighter colors. And this is a piece that looks a lot better when you view it at a high resolution, just because it has all these little dots, which I'm gonna guess are done by hand. I mean, they look really great, so that's the only reason I was questioning it. But I think they were when you see them. It's just a whole like texturing of dots here, with little ink dots, which look really great, and these ink splatters and whatnot. And just the overall style, it works really well to have this gradient with these little ink dots. And even this like this text bubble where it's got the nice playful text, which has like the little dots as well, and the white outline, and then a bubble, and then a splatter. It just has a lot of layers and a lot of great effects for a traditional piece. Yep, great job. I appreciate it. So I think I'll close it there. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll have more fun next week.